Welcome to Memorable Games, a series where I talk about video games that I have great memories of. In this video, I want to talk about the Mario Party series. Mario Party is actually one of my most favorite franchises of all time. I remember as a little kid, my mom asked me and my brother if we either wanted a PlayStation or a Nintendo 64. Since I owned a Super Nintendo and I was so used to Mario and I loved Mario games, I really wanted a Nintendo 64, but my brother wanted a PlayStation 1. So Christmas came along, and the console that we ended up getting was a Nintendo 64. So at this point, I think this was when my brother wasn't really into gaming anymore. So I was pretty much the owner of the Nintendo 64. And I still remember the very first time I played it. It came with Mario Golf and Mario Party 2. And looking at the two cartridges, Mario Party 2 seemed like the more fun game. So that's the first one I tried out. I still remember that I got a brand new TV. It wasn't a big TV, it was maybe like a 7 or 8 inch TV, but I really loved it so much. So when I first started playing the game, it was completely different from the Mario that I'm used to. Usually I'm used to the 2D platformers, but for this one was a completely different game. So since I had Mario Golf and Mario Party 2, those were pretty much the only games I could play at the time. So I spent a lot of time playing those two games. I played Mario Party 2 the most just because there was so much into it. The best part about it is that the Nintendo 64 actually came with two controllers. So me and my brother would be playing this game all the time. And eventually Mario Party 3 came out. I still remember exactly how the commercial went for Mario Party 3, and I was so excited for it. I told one of my neighbors that Mario Party 3 was gonna come out. He's like, no way, like that game doesn't exist. And I told him like, yes, like it's gonna come out. It's gonna be a brand new game. So once the game came out, I was playing the heck out of it. I remember having so many friends over, we would be playing this game every single day. Either Mario Party 2 or Mario Party 3. I played with so many people that I would have to reteach everybody how to play. So I would teach everybody how to play this minigame. I would teach them what to do in the board games, what each item does. I remember doing that so many times that I never got tired of teaching people how to play this game, because eventually they got better and it was a really good challenge and I made new rivals. So eventually I got the GameCube. I got the GameCube really late. It was a couple years after. So the next game that I played for Mario Party was actually Mario Party 6. So I completely skipped 4 and 5. And I was in love with Mario Party 6. There was so many new mechanics, like the orbs where you set up traps. There was a lot more strategy to the game. And the minigames were amazing. And I was so used to the Nintendo 64 graphics, but going up to Mario Party 6, the graphics for me were incredible. So eventually Mario Party 7 came out, and I still remember playing the demo of that game back in Target before they reorganized their store. They had one of the best mini games in there. They had Fun Run, which was a mini game where you just race and you have to avoid obstacles. And they also have this Bowser mini game where Bowser is chasing you, throwing fireballs at you, and you had to avoid him and get through the course without getting hit. So eventually, once I had more money, I bought Mario Party 4 and Mario Party 5. I was instantly hooked into Mario Party 4. I loved it so much. I kind of miss how they took away the golden mushroom and the regular mushroom, then replaced it with Mega and Mini. But I still enjoyed it. The minigames were one of the best minigames ever. I played Mario Party 5 soon after that because I bought both of them at the same time. But I wasn't that much into it. It was kind of confusing, especially because they introduced the orbs in that game. And if you wanted to use an item, you either have to throw it and land on it, or you would have to straight out just buy it on the spot, even though you got it for free. But they did have a unique minigame which involves you creating your own cart and shooting each other in this battle arena, which was pretty cool. And you got to play as DK, who in this game was cut out to being a playable character from the main series. Eventually Mario Party 8 came out, and this was when the Wii, I didn't have a Wii yet. It took me a while to get a Wii just because they were sold out everywhere and I didn't have enough money for it. So I would always look at the commercials, always telling my mom, look, they're having fun, that old lady's having fun, like I want to have fun. So eventually I did get a Wii. I didn't have enough money to buy new games, but I did borrow the game from my friend Doug. I borrowed Mario Party 8 from him, and I had so many great times playing the game. My most favorite game is Shake It Up, of course, where it's a motion control mini game where you have to shake the Wii remote up and down as fast as you can. I made a couple of videos on that, but it's so many great memories. It takes me back so much. Eventually, I ended up buying the game for myself just because I do have every single main series Mario Party game, so I do want to complete the whole collection. And eventually, Mario Party 9 came out. It was still for the Wii, but it was actually in widescreen. So even that, it amazed me, even though widescreen was a thing for a long time already. I gotta say, Mario Party 9 is my least favorite Mario Party of all time, just because everything's heavily luck based. Yes, you do have to ride cars and everything's so linear. I hate that so much. But even so, like, if you just kept the luck base out of it, I would enjoy that. But no, they took everything out. You would be winning at the very end, only to land on a Bowser space, and you would just lose everything. I had that moment where I was winning by a lot, and then they made it so all of us have the same amount of star bits, and I don't know, I was so pissed that I didn't want to play the game anymore. So eventually Mario Party 10 came out, and I was so excited. I saw the car. I was not excited about that, but I was being hopeful. Maybe this game would actually be the game that would bring the Mario Party franchise back. And you can play as Bowser for the very first time. Well, since Mario Party 4 for the volleyball minigame, but that game was pretty much a sequel to Mario Party 9. It was what Mario Party 9 should have been. It is the very first HD Mario Party game ever, and everything looked amazing. It's just that I'm not sure, that was maybe one of the least memorable minigames that I've ever played, except for the Bowser minigames. If in this game, if you're playing as Bowser, like, that's it, you won, unless you're so lucky enough to survive from all the Bowser minigames. But pretty much in this game, it's just pretty much called Bowser Party, if you want to call it that. The only time you would ever have fun in this game is if you play with your friends. That's the only time I highly recommend you playing this game, because if you play this game by yourself, it is not the same if you're playing with friends. I would say that about every single Mario Party. Maybe the earlier Mario Parties would be a little bit better for one player if you're into, like, let's say Mario Party 3 has story mode, which is specifically for one player, and it has its own boss at the very end. And also for Mario Party 2, it has a one player mode where you're on the train and you have to beat every single minigame, and it gets harder and harder as you go by. There's actually one game I forgot to talk about, and that is the very first Mario Party. That's probably my least memorable of all, just because I got that game way late. I probably got it maybe after Mario Party 8, but my friend, he did gave it to me, so I was actually happy because that completed my whole collection. And I did play the mini games. I know that Mario Party 2 got the mini games from Mario Party 1, but for me it was like, oh wow, this game has mini games from Mario Party 2. And it's a little bit different. And that one, you could actually lose coins from mini games, which was a little bit weird to me, but it gives it more strategy or more of a risk. Even till this day, I'm still playing those games. Right now, I even have Mario Party 3 on my phone, and I could pretty much play it on the go, which is amazing. So yeah, Mario Party has always been one of my most favorite franchises of all time. The only thing that kind of ruined it for me were the last two games, which was Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10. But other than that, it had really great memories. It's kind of sad when I think about it. I played this game with so many people, with so many neighbors, that, like, I don't know, to be honest, I kind of forgot who I played it with. I do remember playing it with people recently, but from many years ago when I was younger, I honestly don't remember who I used to play with, which is kind of sad, but that memory for Mario Party is still there though. And I can't wait to play this with more people, especially the older Mario Party games. I want to create more memories with others, and hopefully there's a new Mario Party game that would go back to its old roots, just so I could replay it again and share it with new people. But yeah, that has been my story for this game. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys later.